about Tucker Carlson's interview with Joe Rogan because he's talking about something that should plant a seed in your mind. Take a listen.
There is a whole world that we can't see that acts on people, a supernatural world. It's acting on us all the time for good and bad. Every society has thought this before ours. In fact, every society in all recorded history has thought that until, I'll be specific, August 1945, when we dropped the atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And all of a sudden, the West is just officially secular. We're God. There is no God but us. And that's the world that we have grown up in. But that's an anomaly. Like, no one else has ever thought that. There's never been a society that thought that. Every other society has assumed, and they've had all kinds of different explanations, and the details differ. But the core idea does not differ, never has differed from caves until now, that we're being acted on by spiritual forces at all times.
You are being acted on by spiritual forces at all times. I'm going to say it again. You are being acted on by spiritual forces at all times. Okay, that is a reality. The people who understood this all the way leading up to World War II, since the dawn of humanity, they understood this. They knew God was real. They knew the devil was real. And then something happened after World War II. Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. Psychological tactics happened. Psychology happened. They began experimenting. They opened entire institutes and experimented on people. They experimented on troops. They began investing in understanding that they could create mass psychoses. They could quite literally lead people not to believe their own eyes. You just saw this. This is not a conspiracy, you guys. You just saw this with COVID, okay? Wake up. Wake up. If you are still asleep at the wheel and you're trying to hold on to some semblance, because it is hard. I get it. I had to go through it. I get it. When you realize that everything you were told was a lie, when you realize that you were just a severely propagandized individual from the moment that you stepped into the public school system, it is a hard reckoning to go through. You suffer through periods of cognitive dissonance. Use a psychological term. You start to wonder if you're going crazy. You're not crazy. This is the reality. We are fighting real evil, okay? Sigmund Freud believed in Satanism. That is a fact, okay? He worshipped the Kabbalah. That is a fact. Again, I can point you to these books. And now we have his nephew. We can draw a direct line from this despicable, filthy human being to American psychology. Say students are learning that he was a good guy. There's a cover-up about the fact that he was protecting pedophiles. Do you guys understand what's going on right now? Do you understand what is happening in this country? Spiritual forces, as in when you are listening to music, they understand it is impacting your soul. So if you don't believe you have a soul, it's problematic. Your eyes and your ears are the windows to your soul. They understand that. They don't want you going to church because they have you attending their church every day in the form of public education. Why do you think it is that people genuinely perceive that Donald Trump is a threat? They were believing the rhetoric. Why do you think Operation Mockingbird, real CIA declassified operation, okay, the CIA paid journalists in that program, there's not a single shred of evidence that it ever stopped. Following the assassination of JFK, the CIA said, okay, we need to start paying journalists to repeat our talking points. Now, why would they do that if they didn't kill JFK? Why would they be employing journalists? Why would our deep state begin employing journalists to repeat talking points? Why would they suddenly enter the term conspiracy theory into the lexicon? It never existed prior. Never called people conspiracy theorists before the 60s. Suddenly the media was saying it every single day. If you don't believe what we're selling you, you're a conspiracy theorist. They also understand that if you keep repeating something, it eventually becomes true to people. 6 feet social distancing. Why do you think they're all saying the same stuff? Wear masks, save lives. Donald Trump is a danger. Donald Trump is a danger. Donald Trump is a danger. They understand that that works, that people can be psychologically conditioned to believe anything if you just say it enough times. So yes, these coordinated nonstop attacks against Donald Trump from the moment that he came down the escalator, real, okay? That was a plan. They understood what they were doing. They were trying to enter in our psyche, and people believed it. Are they believing it less now? Yes, of course, because they had Donald Trump for 4 years. But prior to, in 2016, people were deluded. People ended their friendships. They had friends for years, decades. If you're supporting Trump, I can no longer be your friend because you're a racist. What do you mean, homie? I'm black, you're white, we've been friends for 20 years, I'm clearly not racist. They don't believe their own eyes and their own experiences. That is the power of psychology. That people were ending friendships, they were ending familial relationships. You had brothers and sisters not talking, not speaking, because CNN kept telling them that Donald Trump was Hitler. He's literally Hitler. And why do they always use Hitler? Again, my recent episode that they're freaking out about, go back, watch it. Watch the episodes because they're important, you guys. They are very important for you to understand what and who we are fighting. They use that because even that has become a trigger. Years of your lives, they thought about this. They have they want you to think that Adolf Hitler is the most evil man that has ever existed. In reality, that is just not true, no matter what metric you look at. I spoke to you on the show about the many genocides that have taken place that you don't even know about. People were shocked to learn about the genocide against the German-speaking civilians immediately following the war. People don't even know about the Bolsheviks. I don't know what the Bolsheviks did to Christians. We don't learn any of this, but it is a program. For years, you learn and you are traumatized about Adolf Hitler in school, in public school. And there's a reason for that, because now it's become an adult trigger. All they have to do is call any person Hitler. All they have to do is say, this person is using Hitler's rhetoric, and people instantly attack. They instantly attack because it is a psychological trigger. And people did this in 2016. They believed that every person who was supporting Trump was a monster. They believed that about every single person who donned a MAGA hat, that they were literally Hitler. Your mockingbirds in the mainstream media on the day that Donald Trump won in 2016. Remember that? The tears. This is it. The country is over. What does this mean? Acting as though suddenly he was going to put into place concentration camps, as though we had legitimately witnessed Adolf Hitler on the rise. That was all intentional. They have been slow walking you into that emotional response for a very long time. And what is the reality? Who are the individuals who are supporting Donald J. Trump? What does that average American look like? In the same way that we were propagandized during World War II to believe that German-speaking civilians deserved to die, to believe that Catholics in Nagasaki deserved to have a bomb dropped on them while they were praying, to believe that on Ash Wednesday, Christians deserved to be incinerated in Dresden, Do you understand what psychological means were taken? Well, those exact same psychological means are happening right now. But now it's Americans against Americans. It's not Americans against the Nazis. It's not Americans against German civilians. It's Americans against Americans. They are creating that rift here, right? They're making people believe that they have to fight patriots. And what is the reality of the individuals that support Donald Trump? These are hardworking people, many of who have and would lay down their lives. You know, the families of people whose sons and daughters have lost their lives fighting for this country. And I want to show you this clip, by the way, of a man who was interviewed after, and who knows if that is that individual actually lived, or if this is the individual